Hi, and welcome to Winners Corner. This Sunday is the last day in a long row of V75 rounds, and we have to go outside the borders of Sweden to get this one. Charlottenlund racetrack in Denmark is where we're heading. Sports-wise, we're being offered the Danish Trotting Derby. And what do you have to say about Denmark's best 4-year-old trotters, Mike?
I think they hold pretty high quality. In general, Danish racing holds a good quality compared to the purses they race for. Very small money, but always successful when they come over to Sweden. And this edition of the Derby here is quite good. We've got all the best 4-year-olds in it, in my opinion.
We get back to that race in a while, but for now we start outside the V75 frame in race 4. It's a race for 2-year-old horses over 2,000 meters. And what do you want to tell us about these young horses?
Well, first off, they're very good, a couple of them. Number 4, Don't Pay the Ferryman, for instance, still undefeated. And the way he looks in the races, this is just a superstar. He's so complete. He's got speed, he's got gate speed, he's strong, and he's trotting so pure and effectively. I think this is going to be a very, very good horse in the future. I just hope he stays sound. He's going to be a big favorite here, so I want to get the odds up a bit. So I'm going to go for a Quinella along with number 6, Zoe Kronos. This horse is inexperienced, has only raced once, but that was a good race. Came in second in 16.5, and as usual with the horses from the Colgjini stable, the horse is well prepared, well trained, and has pretty good strength. I think she's going to be on the outside here of the favorite, and that may mean it's going to be tricky to beat the favorite, but a very good chance to finish in the top 2. And it's probably going to be a relatively low odds on this Quinella, but still it's better than just a winner on number 4.
So we start off this Sunday in Denmark with a Quinella suggestion with horses 4 and 6. Moving on to race 6, we have the second leg of the V75 round, and it's another race over 2,000 meters, but this time is for older horses.
Yeah, and here we're going to see a very clear favorite. I'm guessing one of the best, most heaviest favorites on the V75. Number 8, Bandit Brick, has now 17 straight wins, so a superstar. But I'm going to go against him. I think number 7, Champion Melon, is going to go to the lead here. Champion Melon really fast behind the gate. Palle Günther, always a driver who tries for the lead, and I think Champion Melon has a good chance to go to the lead. And knowing Palle Günther, the way he drives, I think he's going to park the favorite here. I think Bandit Brick is going to have to do the work on the outside, and he may very well be strong enough to win from the outside position, but he's such a big favorite that it's worth betting against him. So number 7, Champion Melon, is going to be my bet.
An interesting win bet there in race 6, and we move on to race 7. And here we have a big field of horses, 15 of them over 2,000 meters, circular start. They divided up over 3 tiers. How have you been analyzing this one?
This is a tricky race. We've got some really strong horses here, and very experienced horses on the handicap tier. Number 7, Global Rhapsody, has caught my attention, though. Second to last time, he was out against Bandit Brick, who we just mentioned, who's won 17 straight wins, and he raced really well. He was the only one who was at all close to keeping up with him. It was only the last 200 meters over the stretch that Bandit Brick left him behind. So that was in 13.7, and I feel that Global Rhapsody seems in the expert advice beforehand seems to be quite overlooked. So I think this one may go off at very high odds, and he's got a good chance at finishing in top 3 at least.
From a show bet in race 7, we move on back to a win bet in race 9. And this is a race for 3-year-old horses, and you have fallen for who, Mike?
Here I'm going to go for a Swedish trained horse. Number 10, Flying Fortuna. I think this is the best horse in the race. The last time the horse was out in the German Derby and raced very well, was in the lead, looked like a winner, but got beat at the very, very last few meters. But a very nice performance there from Flying Fortuna. One of the more experienced horses in the race, has by far the highest earnings in this race and moves down in class so much that I feel that Flying Fortuna really stands out in a class on his own here.
Okay, we move on to the daily double this Sunday at Charlottenlund racetrack, and it takes place in as normal in races 10 and 11. And DD1, it's a nice race with well-known horses, Mike, over 2,000 meters, 100,000 Danish crowns to the winner, and Who do you think that horse will be?
I think it's going to be number 9, Turno di Azzurra. This one moves down in class a bit, despite being up against such tough horses, because last time the horse was out in the Åby Stora Pris, raced in 2 heats the same day and raced really well in both of them. Finished second 2 times, beat here by Muscle Hustle, and that was a really impressive day. I really underestimated this horse earlier, but I will no longer.
Okay. DD2, it holds the race that we now finally get to talk about. It's the Danish Trotting Derby, the best Danish 4-year-old horses. They all have names that starts with a B. Do you know why?
Well, most countries do that. We don't have that rule in Sweden, but most racing countries do that. It's easier to know how old a horse is just by looking at the name.
Correct. Let's talk about the race now then, Mike. Who's going to win it?
I think number 5, Bulgari Peak, has a very good chance here. Bad Moon Rising may be the favorite, but Bulgari Peak is a stronger horse, is on the inside, has a good chance to reach the lead if Balotelli surrenders it. I'm not sure he will, and in that case, Bulgari is a little bit vulnerable, but I think he's the best horse.
And this means that for this Sunday, we have one single combination for the daily double. Now, let's focus on the V75 round that we have for this Sunday. In Denmark, the rules are the same as here in Sweden. We have to find the winners in 7 consecutive races. And let's immediately take a look at your V75 suggestion for us, Mike. We can see that you have 3 bankers, and they're all lined up in the end of the day. And in the 5th leg, number 10, Flying Fortuna. In the 6th leg, number 9, Turno di Azzurra. And then finally in the last leg, Bulgari Peak. We've talked all about them. So let's instead have you say a few words about V75-1, a long-distance race where you mark 6 horses. You feel safe with these 6?
Well, relatively. Everything's relative, but I think that it should be enough. It's a pretty open race, but it's also mixed classes, so I think these should be stronger.
And do you also want to make a comment about the 6 horses you mark in V75-4?
Same goes for that race. It seems like a pretty uneven race there, and I would say that Crown Wood has a very good chance to go wire to wire there, but it's always tricky from the inside draw, especially at a tight track like Copenhagen, so he may risk getting locked in. In that case, it opens the race up quite a bit.
And this means that Mike's V75 system this Sunday is made up of 648 combinations. Our website, SwedishHorseRacing.com, is of course the site where you find all the information you need to find out about Swedish trotting and horse betting. And now the only thing that remains is of course to wish you the best of luck with your bets to Charlottenlund racetrack in Denmark this Sunday. Bye bye.